Look out across the Houston skyline at dusk, and you'll find an environment defined by extreme, relentless humidity. Down here on the Texas Gulf Coast, that moisture poses a constant, everyday threat to critical infrastructure. Mold operates as a stealth biological enemy. It multiplies unseen within wall cavities and deep inside HVAC systems, spreading through a structure long before any physical damage appears on the surface. Look closely at this interior wallboard. Those pink and black fungal clusters are actively eating the material. Scrubbing a surface like this with bleach is an outdated reactive doctrine. It only removes the visible stain, leaving millions of hidden spores perfectly intact to regroup and spread further into the building. State governments are stepping in to mandate better practices. Look at the Maryland Capitol building, where legislators passed Senate Bill 856. This law legally binds property owners to uniform, highly stringent standards for mold assessment and remediation, leaving no room for corner cutting. Satisfying these 2025 requirements means replacing visual guesswork with a precise, data-driven operational kill chain. Defeating a highly regulated, invisible biological threat requires a military-grade protocol. We break this down into 3 distinct phases. Phase 1, intelligence gathering. Phase 2, surgical eradication. And Phase 3, permanent fortification. Phase 1 of this kill chain is reconnaissance. Under modern tactical doctrine, data is the very first weapon deployed. We gather intelligence before we ever touch a sledgehammer. Technicians install a network of Internet of Things, or IoT, sensors throughout a facility. These sensors run continuously, monitoring the invisible environmental triggers that feed mold, like ambient humidity and slight temperature fluctuations. This floor plan shows AI synthesizing raw sensor data into a pulsing heat map. It calculates a real-time mold risk index, pinpointing hidden moisture before mold forms. Computer vision models flag micro-anomalies, subtle climate shifts a human eye would entirely overlook. Once we have the digital tracks, we shift to biological profiling. We deploy ERMI testing, the Environmental Relative Moldiness Index, as the next critical step in our reconnaissance. Developed by EPA scientists, ERMI uses advanced DNA technology to identify the exact genetic footprint of specific mold spores circulating in your environment. By combining live IoT data with DNA-level biointelligence, tactical teams know exactly where the threat is located and exactly what species they are dealing with, all before breaking down a single wall. Phase 2 is neutralization. The objective here is to destroy the acquired biological targets rapidly, without causing any collateral damage to the building's infrastructure. We deploy dry ice blasting. Pellets of solid carbon dioxide impact the contaminated surfaces, instantly eradicating the spores. Because the dry ice sublimates into gas, it leaves behind 0 liquid moisture and 0 caustic chemical residue. Next, technicians utilize thermal energy drying. By raising the temperature of the affected surface, they accelerate the evaporation of any trapped water, rapidly eliminating the moisture supply the mold requires to survive. But surfaces are only part of the battle. Airborne spores frequently get trapped deep inside a facility's ductwork, circulating toxins throughout the building and causing what is known as sick building syndrome. Watch this proprietary robotic HVAC system. We engineer these specialized units to infiltrate deep into the ductwork, navigating tight corridors where humans physically cannot reach. The robot executes 3 precise operations. It streams internal video reconnaissance back to the team. It physically clears out accumulated debris, and it sprays EPA-registered mold-retarding sealants directly onto the walls of the duct. These surgical eradication methods neutralize the immediate biological threat entirely. Property owners save weeks of time by bypassing the immense cost of traditional tear-out demolition. Finally, we enter Phase 3, fortification. A remediation mission is only successful if the perimeter is permanently secured against a future biological counterattack. Here, we see a technician applying advanced antimicrobial coatings over vulnerable structural materials. This post-remediation protocol creates a permanent chemical barrier, sealing the facility's defenses. There is a critical difference between generic mildew-resistant paints sold in hardware stores and true mold-proof coatings. To verify performance, the industry relies on the rigorous ASTM D5590 testing standard. This test plate shows a standard mildew-resistant coating subjected to a moisture leach test using aggressive mold strains. The dark contamination creeping over the square represents a failed rating of 2. Now, look at this high-performance mold-proof coating tested against the exact same aggressive biological attack. the sample is perfectly clean. It achieves a definitive zero growth rating. Once this chemical perimeter is established, we deploy the final defensive layer, digital sentries. We integrate smart dehumidifiers directly with automated HVAC ventilation systems. These automated systems work continuously in the background, analyzing air quality and adjusting temperature and humidity. They ensure the building's internal climate remains mathematically incapable of supporting mold life. This military green protocol establishes a comprehensive system of biological intelligence and automated defense, turning a compromised building into a heavily fortified asset. That is the core mission at Envirogyn, executing state-of-the-art prevention to preserve your infrastructure, protect your investment, and ensure healthy spaces for healthy lives.